Welcome back. In my last video, I cut up the Dills Atlantic Giant that I had grown in the last growing season and extracted all the seeds. I am thinking that the interior part of the pumpkin, the pulp around the seeds, should be just as edible as the flesh part of the pumpkin itself. Once I've got it baked for about 20 minutes, then made into puree. So I'm going to put it in this, don't remember the name of that now, casserole dish, isn't it? Got the oven there on preheating at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that gets warmed up, I will put this casserole dish full of the inside piece in there. And I'll probably be able to fit one of these in with it as well. So I'm going to put some wax paper on this cookie sheet here, because I'm afraid that the juice from the pumpkin will bake onto the cookie sheet and it will be impossible to get it off again. So you put the pieces face down on the cookie sheet. I don't think you can see that because I've got this in the way. Now you can see it. I'll bring it up closer in a minute. Actually, I'll bring the sheet over to you. So they're placed skin side up on the cookie sheet. And I'll put those in the oven and I'll bake them for 25-30 minutes something. When they're done, you should be able to take a knife and just push it through easy enough, or even take a fork and go through the skin right through the pumpkin and pull back out easily. The oven is warm to 400 degrees. I'm going to set you down right there. Actually, I didn't think about that. There's 2 racks, so I'm going to put more cookie sheets in. There it is in the oven, and it is 10:32. So it took 45 minutes. Now, as you can see, the fork goes right through and comes out no problem. I'm going to let it cool down. Oh, I got the screen Oh, steam is coming off it. Going to let it cool down before putting it in the blender and making puree, because I'm going to put it into bottles and water bath can it afterwards. Now we're back again. Time to make puree. I have a cutting board. I'm going to use the filleting knife to get the skin off. There's my blender that you would have seen in the homemade mayonnaise video. So take this and see how the easiest way of cutting the skin off it is. It's supposed to come off fairly easy. You know what? If I do like that first, I bet this will be make it really easy. I gotta go over to the edge. Yes, it would. So I'll give you a close-up of what I just done. There now. Take this bowl and put it down there to throw the skins in. Take the piece, you put it skin side up, just gently run through the flesh, not out through the skin, and cut it into squares. And then you need a little bit of a fingernail just to hold on to the skin. Then you run the knife along flat so that you're just skimming along on above the skin. And it comes right off. I'm gonna say I think that'll take a full tray full. Then put our cover on. Let's see how well this will make the puree. Very nicely. So now, of course, I have to get my funnel again. 15 bottles of pumpkin puree that I am now going to put in a water bath can. I have this little one here that I'm going to figure out something to do with. I think I'm just going to make a spread with that little bit. So here's my insert for the canner. These seem to be fitting nicer. I have several bottles that don't fit in there, you know. See, there's something odd with this thing. Now, because of that, I can't fit this last bottle in. It's supposed to take 6 bottles, but I guess it's the round bottles. So now I'll lay that in the canner. Like so. Now, the reason why I put the bottles in there first and put water around them is because there's an air space in there, and if you put in too much water, then your bottles will be light and can jiggle around once they work loose from there. Well, this one over here, he's already, and you see, even with that amount of water, I can feel that that bottle is a little lighter. The other thing to mention is that these rings, they're just down to hold the cap down. They're not tight. That way the water won't go in, but when the contents inside are heating up, some of the air from the airspace can be forced out. That way you get a much stronger seal when you when it actually cools off afterwards. So now we'll turn this on and wait for it to boil. You have to wait for it to come to a boil and then let it boil for 10 minutes and take them out. It's hard to see, but that little flickering of a light there, that's bubbles coming out of the bottle as the inside is warming up. Air is being forced out of that jar. We have 10 minutes of boiling. I'm going to need gloves. Now that I put the second batch in there, the water is not boiling, so I gotta wait a couple of minutes until the water boils again. And these are the ones I just took out, so now I'll make sure each ring is down tight. They're hot. I'm waiting for it to seal. This one here is sealed already, see? That one's sealed. That one doesn't look to be sealed. Oh, he's sealed now. This one is sealed pretty soon. So they're sealed and they're not even dried off yet. In the end, I had 15 bottles of pumpkin puree. I gave 2 of them to my aunt, so now I have 13. But that's okay. You can still leave your suggestions for what to make with it in the comments section below. I will be growing more pumpkin again this coming growing season. And I have a smaller pumpkin to grow, so the smaller pumpkins are easier to grow. I hope you enjoyed that. Hit the like button if you did. Share it with your friends, and don't forget, if you're not subscribed, I'll be putting out more content on a fairly regular basis. So hit that subscribe button and the bell, and I'll see you in the next video.